Hi, Vince Oldre, Certified Financial Planner with Assured Retirement Group, and I want to talk to you about the 5 risks you need to look out for in retirement. Number 1 is inflation. Now, inflation is usually overlooked, especially the last 10 to 15 years. There hasn't been a whole lot of inflation, and that's why when we're thinking about buying a CD or buying a money market or looking at savings, we think we're putting money into a safe spot, but we're actually safely losing money. Or we joke that a CD is actually a certificate of depreciation. So when it comes to inflation, we do have to realize that if you think back to 1998 or the year 2000, the price of gas was around $1.20 to $1.25. Now we're up to $2.50, sometimes $3, or we have even seen $4 a gallon for just gas. Now food prices, milk, eggs, all those things have gone up in price as well over the last 10 to 15 years. So we can't overlook inflation. But if we're going to sit in a safe vehicle because we're concerned about the market, we have to understand what that might do to our retirement and how that's going to impact our buying power through retirement. Now, it's not that big of a deal if you're not going to live that long, but the second risk is longevity, and that is how long you're going to live. And if we're going to be losing purchasing power through a long period of time, that could significantly hurt your retirement. Now, the average male will live to age 82 and the average female can live to age 84, but a shocking statistic is that if you're over age 65 and you're a married couple, there's a 53% chance that one of you could live to age 91. So now we're living a lot longer in retirement, and some of you might even live longer in retirement than you were working. Now, years ago, when people would retire, they would retire and be retired for only 10 to 15 years. And longevity wasn't affecting the retirement as much as it is for people today that are retiring. The third risk that we have to consider is the big one, market risk. A lot of people don't want to talk about market risk, and that's because they're afraid to really understand how much they could lose. Now, I guarantee you, anyone that's watching this video doesn't want to lose $1 of their money, and I don't blame you. But think about the market. In 2008, how much did you lose? Was it a lot of money? Think about 2001. How much did you lose? Was it a lot of money? When we think about the market over the last 120 years that's been around, there's been different time frames. And if we look at different 20-year time frames, there's been one time frame that the market grew over 1,000%. And that was from 1980 to the year 2000. For the market in 2000 to 2015, it's actually only grown about 2% on average per year. And if you add in inflation, we have not reached the same amount as far as based on inflation as you would have from the year 2000. So market risk can significantly impact your retirement. Now, most of you that are watching this video probably have a 401k or IRA or thrift savings plan or some sort of retirement account, and I can almost guarantee you that 90% of your money, or somewhere near there, is invested in either stocks, bonds, mutual funds, exchange traded funds, or variable annuities. But why are we following the same principles that we followed back in 1980 to the year 2000 when the market was growing at 1,000%, and that only happened one time out of a 20-year period? We now have to start looking at our retirement a little bit differently, because that one anomaly that we based retirements on only happened one time, and we can't continue to do that. So that's why you have to look at market risk and look at how it might affect your retirement, and if you should reduce some of that retirement risk or that risk that you have in the market. Now, the last two that I have here is one is what's going to happen with long-term care. Now, the longer you live, the more chance that you have to go into a long-term care facility. Now, an average American will actually, or 70% of Americans will actually use some form of long-term care. Now, that doesn't mean you'll be in there for 3 years, but you might need to have a plan as far as how are you going to come up with those expenses. Are you going to self-insure, or are you going to have long-term care insurance? Now, Some people say it's expensive either way you go, but there are insurance plans that might work to your benefit. And then last is understanding the what if scenarios. What if you lose a spouse? What's going to happen to the income? Now, the biggest risk that we have when we lose a spouse is that we're going to lose a Social Security check. And if we understand how it's going to affect our income, obviously it's going to reduce our income. Is that going to be enough for your spouse to survive? So based on the income dropping, how much is left in the portfolio, is that going to be enough for him or her to live comfortably? So make sure you check all these risks off your table when it comes to your retirement plan. Make sure you look at inflation, see how it's going to affect you, and make sure you don't stay in something that you're going to be losing purchasing power. Look at longevity, how long you might live in retirement, and for most people they want to make sure they never run out of money. So make sure you have a plan to make sure you don't run out of money in retirement. Number 3 is the market risk. Long-term care is number 4, and number 5 is an early loss of a spouse. These are just 5 risks. There's many more, but if you have any questions, please give us a call or message me, and I'll try to work on the next topic that you come up with. Or if you'd like to address some of these concerns by going to one of our workshops, you can click on the events page of our website and sign up for one of our workshops. Until then, I look forward to speaking to you next time.